How's the rain? Raining? Our program consists of a lot of gratitude and building on the beautiful words that Rabbi Willis just shared. Thankfulness. And we have a lot to be thankful for in our community. And it's a moment to reflect on that. The gifts of leadership, the gifts of our volunteers. As I look around this room, each and every one of you is a volunteer or a staff member, in which case you're a staff member and you volunteer, because that's how it works. Each and every one of you are devoted to this community in so many different ways, whether it's showing up every evening for Minyan, whether it's leading us in song, in learning, in pitching, whatever it is. We're really filled with an amazing community of people who are devoted to the shul. So I'm going to share a few words of appreciation. Then I'm going to invite up Arlene. She's coming back. Okay. Sometimes the president just like, whoop. I'm just kidding. And then we're going to invite Norma. We'll have a chance to thank outgoing members of the board and install our new board. I always find that funny because I'm really not good at installing anything, but I will do my best. David Russell does this too well. All right. And then we will head for some desserts and a surprise. We do have a surprise, so get ready for that as well. We gather today as members of the community and lay leaders, and it's a moment to say, look around and see what we do. It's happened yesterday. It really happens almost every single Shabbat. People who are not members of our shul come up to me at Kiddush, and they stop me and say, I have to tell you, Rabbi, something. I have to tell you something, Rabbi. Okay? I have to say, this shul is amazing. And that's what I say every time. They say they love the atmosphere, the vibe, the participation, the singing, our students leading parts of the service that's below, the energy. Shabbat lunch is a highlight. And how welcoming our community is. I feel a little bit like a proud Abba. I know that I am younger than some of you, but nonetheless, it's a source of great joy. And let's be clear, it doesn't just happen. Right? There is a lot of work and thoughtfulness that goes into every single moment, to all aspects of the year, to get to a wonderful Shabbat, just like the one we had yesterday. We have to recruit volunteers. And I know many of you have done that over the years, or many of you have been recruited. We have to energize our community. We have to do things like hiring and retaining our staff. We have to put it all together. And our leaders give faithfully and totally. They jump all in. Even if it's suddenly, to analyze a complicated situation, they're right there. Pirkei Avot teaches us the ethics of our sages from the year 220, compiled by Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, Rabbi Judah the Prince. It says, Kol ha'amelim im hatzibur yiyu amelim imahem l'shem shamayim. All those who work really devote themselves with the community, labor with them for the sake of community. This is not about leadership, about being about someone. This is about giving. This is about generosity of spirit. This is about giving l'shem shamayim, which is a really interesting phrase, for the sake of heaven, but for the sake of our community, for the sake of something beyond yourself. Our leaders make sure our finances are in order, that we have fundraising, budgeting, managing, and investing our funds wisely. They deal with stressful situations all the time. They put out fires when that's needed, and then they light fires when we need a little bit more enthusiasm. They're in the trenches, making the minyan, making sure we have 10 for 10. And as Bob reminded us, we need to get a few more tens in there. A few more morning minions which need a little love. They lead by example. They drive members. They make meals for people. They attend funerals, Shiva minions. Right? They're in shul here, welcoming people, greeting people, making Amuna. When people go away and visit other shuls from our shul, as I also do, and I've been to lots of wonderful communities, but a lot of people come back and they say, that was a really nice community, I had a really nice Shabbat, but it wasn't Amuna. And there's something very special. I call it our special sauce. I know other people have used that phrase. But we have a special sauce, a blend of tradition and modernity, a special sauce of leadership and energy, of volunteerism, of welcoming, a culture of participation that makes this the dynamic and all-embracing community that it is. As I like to tell people who come to visit our synagogue, wherever you are on the spiritual, religious, educational, Jewish spectrum, wherever you fall, this is a place for you to make a home. And it's all hands on deck. Sometimes that feels like a crisis, and once in a while it is. But it's all hands on deck in the sense of we're all in this together. We have each other's backs. We all have our roles. And by the way, looking around, if any of you have not found one or are leaving one, please see me at Kiddush, at dessert, and I'll take care of that. So, I want to say a little bit of appreciation to some board members who are leaving the board. Some of them are not able to be here and are on Zoom. Thank Josh Rudowitz. Thanks Seth Maislin, who's been on the board for a number of years, helping our administration in his VP roles, supporting us through many staff changes in the office, especially given COVID and the challenges of its aftermath. And personally, Seth has always made sure we have health insurance. Doesn't sound that sexy, but it's really important. Seth has gone on now to be leading Kolot Emunah, our new singing group, and we're grateful for his leadership. And although Alan Sherman isn't here, I would be remiss not to thank him for being a huge part of our board in many different roles. And recently, as Vice President of Facilities, if you look around, you'll see so much of the work that he's done as you drove up. He's literally painting the things in the street and putting up the signs so you don't go the wrong way. Right? He's made sure that we have accessible bathrooms over here that open with the touch of a button. We did the Founders Hall. We now have new main bathrooms. So many different things that have been built and put into our building under his tenure need to be mentioned, and the appreciation needs to be there. Most recently, security. Sadly, we live in a world where we have to lock rooms from the inside just in case. And thanks to David Russell, there's a whole number of people that I need to thank. David Waldman, Alan Sherman, I don't even have all Stu, Susan Rubenstein, of course, and others to figure out the mechanism to now lock the Wolf. You can lock the Wolf Chapel or the Merkaz Hall from the inside, and I know that work continues in other places. So I want to turn to my president, Madam President. I have to confess that I didn't know Arlene that well before she was elected Executive Vice President in 2022. I knew her from her wonderful social justice leadership and her leadership in our GBIO community, but I didn't fully realize what an amazingly gifted leader we were being blessed with. Arlene brings so many skills and brought so many skills to the office. Her professional experience gave her a strong background in managing all kinds of projects and working with all different kinds of people. And as it turned out, we needed all of your skills. Sometimes a new president takes office and there's like a few things on the list, a few that the president will bring, maybe a few others that are clearly we need to tackle. And then sometimes you just get a whole other list that you didn't expect. Arlene got a whole other list. Many more things were placed on her docket. It became a pretty busy 2 years. And Arlene, you didn't flinch. You were all in. As new things came up, didn't get overwhelmed or discouraged when things didn't go perfectly. You helped us regroup and figure out how we should proceed. There was nothing that was too complicated for you. You ventured to fix seemingly intractable problems with strength and courage. And I have to say, I've worked with a lot of great presidents. Some of them are here in the room tonight. You did it with a lot of courage, and it was impressive to watch, and it was great to work with you. Building on the work of our immediate past president, Lerner Edinger, executive director, Rabbi Salim, as well as other staff members who've been working on this with our youth, and Rabbi Clint Perkins, the Kelim project about how we treat each other is something that Arlene finally got it over the finish line, and as you got your membership renewals, you saw that part of that is to check off a box saying, and I want to thank Sharon Kamowitz and many others who are involved, I'm going to miss. You have to check off a box this year. I hope you read the Brit, this covenant of community, this statement of what does it mean to be in a community. Because membership isn't just about paying your dues, although we're incredibly grateful for that. Right? Membership is about building a community that is based on the love, the values and the love that should exist in a community. And that's really important. How we treat one another is really the bedrock of building a community. And so that was one of the many things that you brought over the finish line. I would say that your presence, Arlene, made us all feel like we were in good hands. During these years, staffing issues, different lay leadership issues, helping us grow our programming and energy enthusiasm, the energy that you brought was contagious. When new systems needed to be developed, you were there to do it. I was blessed to spend, I think, about an hour, maybe it was like an hour and a half with you, and then Norma joined us every week, thinking and discussing complicated issues and ideas. We always took a little time to connect, to share, and then to reflect. And I will say that I always grew from those conversations. Your input and feedback, I hope, have made me a better rabbi. I could say a lot more, but I want to speak about the most important thing that Arlene brought, which is a lot of positive energy. You can't underestimate the power of positive energy and how it can transform a room and almost any situation. When Arlene walks into the room, she sits on the bima, she brings a smile. She radiates a sense of warmth. When she speaks to someone in the hallway, she does it with a smile. And that smile brings a sense of joyfulness into the shul. It feeds on itself. And your presence has brought a little bit more kindness into our community. Shammai, our great teacher from around the year 0, teaches in Pirkei Avot, Shammai omer asito atcha kva, keva emor ma'at ve'aseh arbe ve'ave mikabel kol adam b'sever panim yafot. Shammai says, make your Torah fixed. Right? You have to have a core of studying Torah, of practicing a life of Torah. And then he says, don't say too much, say little, but focus on the doing. And then he says, receive every person with sever panim yafot. It's a beautiful phrase, right? The sense of pleasantness on one's face. It's also striking to know that this teaching comes from Shammai, who's known as our very strict side of his chavruta, of his partnership with Hillel, who you're probably more familiar with, who kind of he kind of made it a little bit more than his partner in terms of his teachings. But maybe that's exactly why that's what he teaches. He knows that Torah is not only what we study, but it's how we show up. And his teaching maybe is for himself as much as it's for everyone else. A good reminder that leadership is not only what we say, it's how people feel when they enter our presence. Sometimes the first Torah a person receives are not words of Torah, but it's the face that greets them. Arlene, that is one of your great gifts. You receive people with sever panim yafot, with a pleasant, kind, and warm face. I know you're hiding it because you don't want to overwhelm us with it right now. And that warmth has helped shape the tone of our community. Thank you for prioritizing our community for these last 2 years. Thank you for helping us grow and thrive, and for helping us be paused to take that special sauce of Emunah to more and more people as we continue to grow and develop, approaching 70 years. May you go from strength to strength, Michael, and I'll invite you up so I can make a little presentation. A little word, which is, you're not leaving. Nope, you're on to your next phase. The wonderful group of immediate past presidents and past presidents are ones whom we rely on. And I know that you'll find your next projects, your next things that will continue to bring back to the community, to all of us, and to help build. In particular, we came from this love of social justice. I know that that will continue to be central to your life. And I think it's central to our tradition because we build community among one another. And then the tradition says, let us be a light in Or, a light that radiates out into the world, bringing our ideas and our Torah. So I'll leave you with a little bit of a Torah, a gift for you, Pirkei Avot, where I stole lots of the quotes for this evening. And hope you enjoy it. Awesome.